Look, where is Dutton here? Where did Dutton go? I hit record and the guy leaves the show. What are you doing? Tying your shoes over there?
I
Anyway,
dropped something.
I know we like bashing. Well, I like bashing Josh Allen, but we bash Dak Prescott and Daniel Jones a little bit on this show, and we've always tend to avoid rookies, right? Because they're rookies. We don't want to make fun of them. They're learning their way. But man, injury or not, that JJ McCarthy performance was one of the worst things I've ever seen. And I don't know if you guys saw it. Did you guys see the Bet MGM stat?
No.
JJ McCarthy finished with a passer rating of 37.5 in that game. They figured this out. If he went out there and spiked the ball on every pass attempt he made, his passer rating would have been 39.6. That's like going to take the SATs and getting a 300 because you spelt your name wrong. Like
Yeah,
that
I was
is
just about to say, like,
bad.
how did you blow that?
It's like right. A quarterback could go out there and complete the. Anyway, let's make more fun of players that pissed us off this week on another episode of Three and Out. Welcome back, Three and Out fans. I'm your host, Wayne Cavati, and as always, I am joined by the best fantasy football co-hosts in the dadding universe, Chris FanDuel Fee Fiamano and Mike, the Professor Dutton. Gentlemen, we had a good week last week. It was fun to watch. I think all three of us won in Nitro as well. So that I mean, it doesn't get better than that, guys. How we doing?
I'm doing great because Baker Mayfield crushed your dreams on a last minute drive, and I'm
That's
still
because
trying
you
to
think
figure out
I
why the
have dreams, so the joke is on you as a Texan fan. I don't have any expectations.
as much as it was fun to watch. I'm going to ask the same question that you asked and everybody else was asking me. Why were we not calling timeout with three
Yeah,
timeouts?
that made no sense. Made no sense. B, your boys didn't win, but man, they put on a show. So
That's game
They,
of the week.
yeah, they did. It was a lot of fun to watch. And Russell Wilson threw for 450 yards. Like they were just airing it out and completing everything. I mean, it seemed like they were just crushing it, and then they end up losing the game, which is typical of the Giants these days, right? Other than that, I actually did kind of poorly in FanDuel, so it wasn't a great week for me.
Here's
Well,
a
we'll look
fun
to get
quick
back on
stat.
track this week, though.
Fun quick stat. Russell Wilson threw for four times as many yards as Josh Allen.
wow, nice.
And Russell Wilson leads the league in passing yards.
I feel like he did last year with the Steelers through two games, right? Didn't he have like two really good games with the Steelers, and then there's
He
just,
was he's a out of the
but he
game.
didn't come to like the fourth week, like right? Because
He's
Justin
definitely
Fields
a
started the
Preakness
season.
horse runner because it's the shortest track. He's not a Belmont Stakes runner.
Yes, that's a great analogy. Great analogy. And shout out to new listener Sperry, and a special shout out to the Cherokee in the casino in Murphy, North Carolina, where I got to watch fantasy football on the rare Sunday and just sit there on big screens, and it was really fun to watch players. And I forgot. It's like every time, NFL. I think you couldn't possibly be any dumber. Then you go and do something like week two and totally redeem yourself, right? Like it was just the best week of football. There was just a lot of,
It was a really good week. There was a
it
lot of good
really
games.
was. There was a lot of just watching. There was a lot of good, if you're doing prop bets, there was a lot of great big numbers to do prop bets, and great for fantasy, as we said. And on top of that, Dutton, you got a pick right. Like, welcome to the party, pal. Um,
It took until the last 6 seconds of the game, but I got to pick.
and however, and it's a very large however, week two, I'm sorry, came with some very big injuries on the fantasy football landscape, and that's what we're here to talk about. We're going to go through a few of these big injuries, and most importantly, not just the injury itself, but the impact to your fantasy roster. And I think it's obvious where we have to start. It's the biggest one of the bunch. And Fee, we'll start with you. Joe
Yeah.
Burrow, what does this mean for Bengals fantasy football player owners?
Well, it's going to hurt an awful lot, I think. Jake Browning threw what, three interceptions,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Um, I don't know. It's gonna be a rough go, I think. I mean, Jamar Chase will still be okay. Chase Brown might actually be better off for it. Maybe they'll try to run the ball a little more. T. Higgins might get wiped out completely.
Mhm.
Um, but all those big numbers that you were hoping for, I think, are kind of gonna go by the wayside here. Um, yeah, I don't know. It's gonna be rough. It's gonna be rough for Cincinnati fans.
Dutton,
Do we have a comparison? Like I'm trying to think of a recent, like a quarterback goes down that is the quarterback for the number one receiver. Do we have a comparison?
Peyton Manning when he broke his neck and he had Harrison and Reggie Wayne.
There we go. So that would be, and that was like there was still a 19 in the number, I feel like, when that happened. There wasn't, but it was a long time ago.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
so yeah, I mean, I want to wait and see what happens this week because now that Browning's got a whole week of practice under him, yeah, the interceptions are totally worrisome. Especially they were playing the Jaguars. So what's going to happen when they play a better defense?
Yeah.
Like the Vikings
Yeah, right,
and Brian Flores, who
right,
blitzed like crazy.
right. So I think this week will be telling for what then happens moving forward. I mean, obviously you have to look at the targets that Chase has, not so much the number of catches and stuff, but are they still trying to get him the ball, I think is important. And then we go from there, I guess. But also, are
Yeah.
the targets good targets or are the targets because the ball is 50 yards over his head, but he's the closest guy to the
Look,
ball?
look, Browning is Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde. Remember last year he played, or whenever it was, he played 6 games 2 years ago, and he had half of them were 300-yard games, and the other half were duds. Like all he does is look for Jamar Chase. So, Fee, I agree with you. I think T. Higgins is in a lot of trouble if you have him in fantasy, but I think Jamar Chase is going to be okay. I think Chase Brown should be okay, but a lot of his is in the passing game, so we'll see how much of a check downer Browning is. Here's the thing: it's like if I'm Joe Burrow at this point, I saw someone say it. I forget where I saw someone say it, but I heard someone say it that we may have an Andrew Luck situation on our hand, and we may see
They
one of
said
these.
it on ESPN a couple of
Was it
times
on
this week.
ESPN?
Yeah,
Like
I
one of
heard it.
a generational quarterback retire because his team's out there playing fantasy football like us, and all they care about are big playmakers, and they're doing nothing to protect those big playmakers.
Zero.
No offense, like Joe Burrow has been running for his life for 3 years, right? Like 3 years.
But
They got to
I'm gonna
protect him.
take
I would
this.
ask for a trade, or I would just maybe Andrew Luck it and
I
retire.
mean, I'm gonna take this from Chris Canty because he was talking about it the other day, but historically the Bengals never protect their quarterbacks. Like you can go back to Boomer Esiason, didn't protect them. Carson Palmer didn't protect them.
Yeah, they
Like
all got major injuries.
they all right because they like you said, Wayne, they're out there playing fantasy and they're looking for Jamar Chases and T. Higgins, and they're not looking for offensive linemen to protect their
Because
$50 million arm.
I think Joe Burrow is the best quarterback in football. I've said it many times, like as an actual quarterback, and well, we may not get to see that come to fruition, if they don't keep protecting him. Anyway, but yeah, I think Jamar Chase is the safest bet out of those. Another guy we don't have any idea. Remember, this is Wednesday night, so we only going off of injury reports thus far, and most of those people are questionable. Jaden Daniels will not practice until Friday at the earliest. So that means it's A, no good. And B, we can't even predict what's going to happen because he may not practice at all. Plus, they lost Austin Eckler for the year. So let's combine those two injuries. What do we make of Daniels? Do we think he's going to play? And Marcus Mariota going to bring any value to Terry McLaurin and Debo Samuel? Dutton, you start.
Um, I don't. I got nothing. I mean, I don't. I wish I. I mean, I'm not saying this like I. I just. I'm at a loss for words that I'm listening to Marcus Mariota starting. Um, maybe Debo Samuel because they could use him for the quick little, short passes and see what he can do. I don't know. It's who do they play again? The Commanders this week.
The Packers, I believe.
Ooh.
Oh no, the Packers play the Browns.
That okay.
The Raiders.
Oh,
They
the
play the
Raiders at
Raiders
home. That's right.
at
At
home.
home.
Okay, so that's a West Coast team coming to the East Coast,
Yeah.
which kind of helps them a little bit. I don't know. I just feel like if Mariota's playing, there's going to be a lot of him running and a lot of multi-back options where they're just using as much running as they can.
And they're down and back.
Right, right.
Fee, go ahead.
All right. So last week, I think it was fairly obvious that Jaden Daniels was playing hurt.
Mm-hmm.
And it's tough to say whether they're going to throw him out there again. I mean, it's obviously different people, different ownership, and it's not the same as an RG3
Right.
situation. But you look back at that and you think, well, maybe they shouldn't play him if he has a knee injury, right? Maybe they should sit him, maybe they should let him rest. Um, it's tough in the NFL because
I don't think he's playing.
you don't have that many games to go out there and win and do all that. But I mean, I wouldn't play him. I would think that they wouldn't play him. They probably shouldn't play him. He didn't look good last week.
No.
And it's only going to be the same. So I think because we don't know, right? We don't know what they're going to do, but I think we would have to go off of saying he's not going to play. Because
Yeah.
if he does play, you shouldn't play him in fantasy. You should have some sort of plan B or backup option because you probably shouldn't be playing him. I don't think he's going to be great as a fantasy option. Maybe he's good enough to win them the game, but I don't even think that's the case. And as far as Mariota goes, if he ends up playing, I mean that's terrible news for Terry McLaurin. Maybe it's okay for Debo, because Debo also may run the ball too. Now
And
that
they don't
they
have
don't
a
have
running
Eckler,
back. So,
but
yeah.
it's probably really good for Bill,
If
right?
that guy's any good. I mean, he didn't look very sharp last week.
That's true too.
We do have to remember, though, when we say they didn't look sharp, they are playing a defense that clearly is heads above a lot of other defenses in the NFL right
yeah,
now.
yeah,
Right?
they are.
Like,
Right. That was last week, the Packers. That's what I was
yeah.
thinking.
Right.
I there's teams you could take the quarterback out of and they will be just fine with a backup, and the Commanders are not one of them. This
No.
offense does not work with another quarterback. Not Marcus Mariota. I think maybe like a Josh Allen is the only other type of quarterback in the league that would have success with this the way that this roster is built. The running game is in shambles. He's not going to have any protection because nobody's going to be scared of Bill or Chris Rodriguez or anyone else they're throwing at him to not just blitz all day if it's Marcus Mariota. The only person that may be safe is Zach Ertz because he's 4 inches away from the quarterback and he'll be catching balls that are tipped in the air all day. Like I think this is terrible for any commander that you have on your team. Um, we made fun of JJ McCarthy coming into the show. He is well, he couldn't be any worse than he was last week, so that's the good news. But he's likely out this week. Plus another combo. Aaron Jones Aaron Jones Sr., I'm sorry, went on the IR, so he's out till at least week 7. What do we make of the Viking situation, Fee?
Well, so who's their backup again? Who's playing?
Didn't they sign like 4 different people and they haven't decided yet?
I thought that I thought that it was because they're playing Cincinnati. It's Jake Browning versus they were like billing it as like the backup quarterback. Who the hell
Yeah,
was
it's
it?
definitely.
I
Oh,
got
isn't it Carson Wentz, by the way?
Oh,
Is it?
Carson Wentz.
Yeah,
That's
Carson
it.
Wentz.
Right. Carson
But
Wentz.
they signed Desmond Ritter this
They
week
did sign Desmond Ritter
and some other guy. What is
Max
it?
Yeah, but
Crosby.
Carson Wentz will play. But here's the
Right.
thing, right? So we watched JJ McCarthy play last week before he got hurt, and it wasn't good. And and then he, I mean, I guess he got hurt. I know there's a whole conspiracy theory out there. They're like, JJ
really?
is like, maybe we're just gonna let him sit for a couple weeks and like say that he got hurt.
He kind of has an ankle sprain, but it's not as bad as we're making it out to be. Right.
His ego
So
is destroyed.
there is conspiracy theory out there. I don't know what's true and what's not, but I mean he's out and he's not playing. Carson Wentz might be pretty good for this team. He airs the ball out. He's going to throw it to Justin Jefferson. The Bengals defense is horrendous. Now, obviously, it's not great for the Vikings long term, but this week it's probably okay.
Yeah, you couldn't get a better defense to have to deal with this. Dutton.
Yeah, I mean, I don't
And
know
it's
if
great for Jordan Mason too. Sorry.
Yes,
Yeah, for sure.
Yes,
yeah, good
for
point.
sure. And let's be fair. I mean, we were joking that he could have thrown the ball into the ground the game and had a better QBR, right?
Yeah.
So you can't get worse. It can only get better, right? If you're Justin Jefferson, you're like, can't be worse. Like,
Yeah, and you got to
so
imagine that makes it lets Carson Wentz play looser, right?
right,
Like
right. That's
no
what I'm
matter what
saying.
I
Like,
do, I'm not going to be that
I
bad.
can't be worse. And we're playing the Bengals.
Yeah.
Like,
And Carson Wentz loves a good tight end. So hopefully this is the week that TJ Hawkinson gets back into the picture because he's been awfully quiet. And
there's
the
a
other
lot
thing
of
about
tight
JJ
ends that are
McCarthy
quiet.
is he had that big comeback, and really all we've seen is one good quarter of play
I was
from
just gonna
this
say
guy.
he's
The
had
other
one
three
quarter.
quarters in that game were a disaster. Were a disaster. So maybe this is maybe a blessing in disguise, and JJ could sit and learn about it. But he is out, and for who knows how long. Someone else that's out for definitely this week, and who knows how longer, is Justin Fields. In week one, we loved him. Fee made him the start of the week and looked like a genius. Last week, he even before he got knocked out of the game, there was nothing doing for. It was like the Bills were pissed off that everyone was like,
He
their
was
defense
three
stinks.
for 11 when he
Yeah,
got knocked out of the game in the
yeah,
third quarter.
yeah, yeah. And the week before, he did it on passing. Like it looked like Justin Fields had like, oh, you're a good fit for this off. Yeah, no. But what do we do about the Jets? Does this make Tyrod Taylor's an experienced veteran? He's not terrible. He's not worse. Like there's worse options. Um, JJ McCarthy was worth it. Anyway, what does it do for Garrett Wilson and Brees Hall, who are definitely obviously fantasy options here? Fee, you
This
look
is
like yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, this is way better for the
You
Jets
think?
offense. Tyrod Taylor is a serviceable quarterback. He's actually pretty good, and he's probably better than Justin Fields. I think this
Definitely
is
a
an
better
upgrade.
passer.
This is an upgrade for Garrett Wilson, and that passing game, right? And it probably helps out the running game too. I mean, they actually have a decent running game. Brees Hall, I know he didn't do well last week, but he overall is a good running back. I think this is an upgrade for the Jets offense. I don't know how great you feel about them anyway, to begin with. So like an upgrade, it means like maybe they go from 5 points to 10. So it's not like they're gangbusters or anything. But it's probably better for them.
Yeah, Dutton, what do you think?
I mean, here's the thing. He had 8 targets in the game against the Bills, and I think 6 of them came with Tyrod Taylor as the quarterback.
Yeah,
So obviously it's got to be better, right? I mean,
we'll see.
Tyrod's a better passer of the ball, I would think. So, obviously you're going to try to look for your number one receiver.
I
The
got
Jets
more
are an
to talk.
interesting team this year.
Oh, you got more. Fee's got more.
Oh yeah,
No, I
go
got
ahead.
more to talk about this game when we get to our
Uh,
Okay. All right. But yeah, I think the Jets are an interesting team this year because there's no expectations for them. They can be as bad as they can possibly be because everything is new.
yeah.
But at the same time, like, I don't know, like they might want to try to look to trade some of these guys and get more draft capital. So you got to make Garrett Wilson look good, possibly. I don't know. That's all.
They still got Garrett Wilson for cheap for a couple of years. I don't think he'd be
Right.
the guy going anywhere. But no, look, it's the Jets. Who knows? Who knows what it is? I could definitely be on board with it being better than Justin Fields. Definitely more stability for Garrett Wilson as a passer, and maybe opens up some more opportunity
I
for
mean, really quick,
recall.
10 seconds. Like, I'm a Garrett Wilson fantasy owner, and I seriously considered, like, do I have to drop him this week? And I'm like, it's Garrett Wilson. Like, again, like,
Can't
you got to be
drop him.
patient and see, right? Like, what's
Yeah.
going to happen. So, wait and see what happens this week.
Last guy, Jaden Reed, he broke like 4 different things, right? Like he was going for surgery on one thing, and then he had a collarbone surgery. Like you
No,
just
he was
forget.
going for the collarbone, and they found out something was wrong with his ankle.
Oh, that's what it was.
Seriously?
Yeah, he had 2 surgeries
Oh my
uh,
God.
because the collarbone and ankle are completely next to each other, so they were able to figure that one out. We already talked. I've already given my opinions on the Packers wide receivers. We're going to talk about it. We could talk about it right now. Dutton, you're the in-house Packer apologist. What does this do for the wide receiver room?
Well, I think it's one less mouth to worry about. So there's a possibility that there's a Packer wide receiver that might become a more viable option. I don't know who that would be because they still haven't figured out who their go-to one is. So
Tucker Kraft.
Tucker, but he's a tight end.
I understand that. That's what I said. Fee, go ahead.
No, I mean, I was going to say the same exact thing. I feel like it's the same situation. I don't think it changes. Tucker Kraft is still their number one guy.
Yeah.
Um, their receivers are still a mess. I mean, they have Matthew Golden, who's a rookie who hasn't shown anything other than speed. They still have Wicks. They still have who's the other guy?
Heath and Dow, Romeo
Oh,
Dobbs.
Dabbs.
Romeo
Romeo
Dobbs,
Dabbs.
who's probably
I,
their best option in terms of that Jordan Love looks to him the most, but that doesn't mean anything. Like,
yeah,
Look, last week the Packers looked great, right? They were a fine-tuned machine. I told you to sit I'm just going to say this now. I told you to sit every Packer wide receiver, and I said that's my sit for the rest of the year. Okay, last week, Wicks had 8.4 points. This is all PPR, so this is with receptions. Wicks had 8.4. Heath had 4.7. Dobbs had 11.8. Golden had 1.5, and Reed had 0. Granted, he left in the first quarter. Okay, not the highest one there was number 35 overall on the week. That's not, they don't have a starting wide receiver, and it's not changing. Like it's not them figuring it out. This is how they win ball games.
yeah, this is just what they're going to be.
Yeah, it's how, and they're winning. So why even change it, right? All right, let's move on to our favorite locks of the week, where last week, 3 and Out improved to 2-2 on the season. So if you're listening to our consensus pick, you are in the money. Dutton, as we said, finally won a game. He got the Bucks. Man, that was a brutal one to watch for me. But yeah, you nailed it. Fee, I didn't listen to you because you went with the Cowboys. And when I bet on the game, not only did I take the Giants, I parlayed him with a Malik Neighbors anytime touchdown. So that was a nice little pull. Uh,
nice.
and I improved to 2-0 on the year by picking the Patriots over the Dolphins, which is about as easy as it gets. So, like I said, 3 and Out, we are 2-2. Let's make it 3-3 this week. Dutton, get us started.
This week, sorry, I was on the wrong page. I am taking the Colts -3.5 on the road versus the Titans. I'm weary right now in taking a road team as the favorite in the division, but until Danny Dimes comes back to earth, I got to ride with him. So I'm taking the Colts.
I don't think the Titans is the game that he's going to have a problem with. Fee.
All right, so here's the game that we were just talking about, and I got the Jets +6.5 against the Bucks. I know, and I know that Dutton is gonna hate this, and he's
I
gonna
don't
hate
hate
me
it. I'll
for
tell
it.
you why in a minute.
But here's why. Tyrod Taylor, better quarterback than Justin Fields, is gonna have that offense better than what they've been. Their running game should probably be better than what they've been. The Bucks play down to their opponents. They don't win by much, but 6.5 is probably enough, and that's why I'm taking the Jets in this one. It's a great spot. It's a great spot. The Bucks just come off a massive, just kind of like energy sucking game where they took everything they had to win that game in the last second. And I think it's just kind of a letdown spot. Maybe they still win the game. I just think that the Jets cover.
Here's a very interesting stat for you. The Bucks are the only team in the NFL that has started the season 2-0 the last 5 seasons. They've also lost their third game the last 4 seasons.
Interesting.
I'll take those 6.5 points.
But are you saying they lose? Or are you saying that
You're just saying the Jets cover the 6.5, or you're
I'm
saying
saying the Jets
outright
cover the
lose?
6.5.
Okay.
No, I'm saying the Jets cover the 6.5.
because I did that last week. Remember, I said I'd take the Panthers getting 6.5, but I think Arizona still wins the game. So let's parlay that up. Let's hit that money line and spread. I'm not a huge fan of my pick. I'm going to tell you that, to be honest. I actually like the Bucks winning this week. I agree with you, Fee, especially with everything going on. But I do think that it could be close. I don't care if they win by 6.5 or not. But I felt like being a little bit daring. So I feel like here's why I'm scared. I feel like the Sam Darnold led Seahawks won their Super Bowl last week, right? And are in for a
Yeah,
huge
so
letdown.
true.
However, the Saints are really bad, right? And you could sit there and be like, yeah, but they hung in their first 2 games. Let's remember they were home. Now they're going on the road, a really bad team for the first time all year in one of the least friendly environments in all of the NFL in Seattle.
Yep.
I know 7.5 is a lot. I know Sam Darnold is also Sam Darnold, and 3 weeks in a row is asking for a lot from him. But I think the Seahawks cover in this one. So I'm going Seahawks 7.5 over the Saints
No,
at home.
I think you talked yourself into it. The more you talked,
I mean, I'm never confident in a Sam Darnold pick. That's my problem.
To be fair, I agree. I agree with that pick. I like
I
the
don't think
Seahawks
it's a
going
bad pick
7.5.
at all because you have the Saints traveling all the way across the country to one of the loudest stadiums in the NFL. Like you said, we're looking at a very young team on the road. Yeah, I don't think it's a bad pick at all.
Yeah. So is that who we're locking in, or is there, or no? I don't know if
Well,
that's what you guys
I
meant.
mean, I also like Dutton's pick too. So I mean, I'm okay with either one,
I don't
really.
mind Fiamano's pick because I don't know if the Bucks cover. The Bucks have yet to cover or spread this. I mean, they were underdogs last week, and the week before they didn't cover. They barely won. So
Okay. Well, what's the verdict? Well, let's see. Wait, let's go here. Let's look at it this way.
I feel like if we want to keep the streak alive, maybe we go with the Colts because I feel like that's
the
probably
So
most
here's how
likely,
here's how it is.
safest.
Let me tell you. The 3-and-out pick in week 1, which we got right, was my pick that we picked on the Broncos.
Okay.
Last week, the 3-and-out pick was Dutton's Bucks. So that would mean fee is due,
Fees due.
or I mean, the Colts have to run all over Tennessee. But you know me.
You're
I hate
also
road
relying
games
on Dutton
and
to
I
have
hate
2 weeks
division
in a row,
games.
correct?
and you
Three
also
things right there. Dutton being
and
correct twice in a row, division game and road team.
and 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 the Seahawks really should run all over the Saints.
All over them.
All over them.
So is the
Let's go with
Seahawks
the
answer?
Seahawks.
Okay.
Seahawks.
Put it in. All right. Well,
Thank God. Pressure's off me.
before we get to FanDuel Fee, it is that time, folks. It is the time of the episode where we have to hit the road. Last week, Taco actually did much better than week 1. He picked the Patriots and the Eagles, the road dogs, and he got them right. And he did go with the Browns because of Joe Flacco. And, for a bit there, it looked like they were going to cover the 12.5 points, but then it just fell apart on him.
Then the second half started.
And then the second half started. So the Browns, they didn't come through, but the Pats and the Birds did. So he's back on track. And speaking of track, he's back on the road. So Taco,
Put on your seatbelts.
Yeah, everyone, put on your seatbelts, grab a helmet. Taco, what do you got for us this week?
Yo, what up, fellas? Taco on the road. Well, on the side of the road. I had to stop and pay the water bill, if you know what I mean. I thought it was a good time to check in, because I got 3 road teams that got a chance. The 0-2 Chiefs travel to East Rutherford to take on the 0-2 Giants. I hate the Chiefs. Go Birds! But there's no way that the Chiefs are starting the season 0-3. They can't, can they? I mean, I'm a firm believer the Giants still have no idea what they're doing down there. And Big Red can't start 0-3, so Chiefs win and cover, no problem there. Indy Danny Jones, the 2-0 Indy Danny Jones brings his Stampede to Tennessee to take on the Titans. I'm a huge Cam Ward fan because it's always all about the U. But I don't know if it's the OC Nick Holtz or just the fact that the Titans have offensive injuries and can't produce, but I say the Colts leave the Music City 3-0 for the first time since 2009 and easily cover the 3 points. Last but not least, anyone seeing a trend here? The Rams come into the link to take on the Birds. Should be a close one, which makes me kind of lean Rams. Do they keep it under 3.5? But yours truly will be in attendance. And I gotta say the Eagles win. Big number 26 day. And the Eagles cover the 3.5 easily. E-A-G-L-E-S. Eagles. It's that easy. That's what I got, because that's what I got. Have a great week. And if you're in Philly at the game, look for me. I'll be the guy in the green jersey waving and cheering. Look for me. Give me a shout. Till next time, guys, keep your seats back and your smokestacks black. And keep on trucking. Taco out.
Well, thank you as always, Taka. I'm a little nauseous from the bumping around, but hey, we get through the road picks. Let's hope they come through this week. That means it is time for third down, and then when it's third down, FanDuel Fee takes over. So, stacks of the week from FanDuel Fee. What we got going on?
All right, so to start us off this week, I am going to the Dallas-Chicago game. It has the highest total on the slate, and Dak Prescott is only 7,300. And I like him better than I like Caleb Williams. So I want to stay on the Cowboys side of this game because Chicago's defense is not good. I know that Dallas's defense is pretty bad itself because we saw the Giants put up 37 points. But I'm going to stick with Dak on this one and go with him and CeeDee Lamb. CeeDee is 8,800. I think he's the second highest salaried receiver on the slate. But I don't care. I'm going to go with them. And I'm going to bring it back with Rome Odunze because he looked fantastic last week, and he looks like he's their number one guy. And he's only 6,400. So if this game shoots out like everyone thinks it's going to, it's probably a good idea to have guys on both sides of the ball. Stack number two, I'm going to roll with Daniel Jones because he is the second. He's second in the NFL in passing with 588 yards. Which is
You hate to say that, don't you? You hate it.
Yeah, it's unbelievable. But they're playing Tennessee, right? And I think that the Colts should roll. And Daniel Jones at 7,800, and pair him with Tyler Warren. He's only 5,600. Pretty cheap for a very good tight end on this slate. And maybe you bring it back with Tony Pollard because he's their main guy and he gets so much volume, and he's only 6,100. Third stack is Sam Darnold at 6,900 with JSN. JSN's 8K. He's kind of priced up a bit, but he's their guy, and Darnold peppers him with balls.
Yeah.
And they're playing the Saints, and know that they're not great. And maybe you come back with Juwan Johnson because he looks like he's another stud tight end also, and he's only 5,700. Only two one-offs this week. I have Jordan Mason. He's only 5,800 playing Cincinnati's terrible defense, and no Aaron Jones, and a backup quarterback. Jordan Mason should get all the carries that he can handle, and he's so cheap. He's almost like a lock and load at this point. And then Jaylen Warren, I like too against New England. He's 6,200. He's the main guy in Pittsburgh. He gets tons of volume. And there's no one really that's taking anything away from him either. And also super cheap. So those are my guys this week.
Nice. And let me tell you why I like it, because the lineup I made is like half of the people you just said. So here's my stack. So when I make my stack, I look at the spreads, right? And over unders, and the highest over unders where the higher ones are where I like. So obviously the Cowboys Bears are 50.5. So I literally in my stack is Dak Prescott, CeeDee Lamb, and Odunze. Like I have exactly what you said there. My running backs, you'll see why I did this, but I went with White on the Bucks because he did get the touchdown last week, and I know Bucky Irving is Bucky Irving, but he's still getting his touches, and I needed to save money. Then
How much is White?
What? 5,200.
How much?
5,200.
Jordan Mason's 5,800.
I already have Jordan Mason's my other bag, so he's my back too. Again, going with the high over unders, that 49er Cardinal game is 46 points. So I went with Pearsall at a receiver. I already told you that Dunze and Lamb. At tight end, I was able to get McBride again in that same 49ers Cardinals game. That's the second highest over under of the day. And at flex, I was able to get McCaffrey because I went cheap with White on the Bucks. So for defense, I do the opposite and I look at the lowest, and the lowest was that Seahawks game. So I took the Seahawks defense.
If you can get off McBride and onto a cheaper tight end, because there are a few of them.
Yeah.
You can go higher on your running back. Uh,
Yeah,
yeah, who is it? Who is
Rashad White.
Rashad White.
Yeah, Rashad White.
Yeah, if you can get off of Trey McBride, here, let's see. Trey McBride is 7K.
So
Like
if I go with Tyler
that's
Warren, if I go with your pick, Tyler Warren,
yeah, that saves you 1,400. That gets you up to 6,600 on a running
it
back
could be
instead of.
Kenneth Walker against the Saints,
I mean, there you go. That's pretty good.
DeAndre Swift in the Cowboys game.
I mean, Tony Pollard is there, 6,100. Jalen Warren is 6,200. I mentioned him. He's 6,200.
Let's go with Jalen Warren then. Let's go with as much of a FanDuel Fee lineup as I can. Boom, we're locked in. Dak,
Woo!
Dak, come on, saving my lineup. Dak Prescott, Jalen Warren, Jordan Mason, CeeDee Lamb, Ricky Pearsall, Rome Odunze, Tyler Warren, Christian McCaffrey, and the Seahawks defense. That is right there, $8 million winner, even though it's only $1 million pot.
How much do I get if you win a million?
Breaking news! Breaking news! Bucks right guard out for the season.
Oh no, what is
And that helps my Jets pick.
Cody Mock. He played the
yeah.
rest of the game.
And that also hurts Rashad White.
Ending the injury.
Also hurts Rashad White. And
Yeah,
any Tampa Bay kind of.
Well, we got him out of there. We got him out of there.
Oh yeah. So wait, how much do I get if you win a million?
100K easily. Your FanDuel fee.
I'd love
Okay,
to
so
do
we're
it.
They're signing Dan Feeney from the Bills practice squad.
they're signing him. I think you said they're firing him.
No, they're signing Dan Feeney.
We're gonna do a little rosterbation here this week, as we always do. We like to go over one of our listeners' rosters. Gentlemen, I texted to you before the show. I think I like this, even with some of the injuries we talked about. This is longtime listener Courtney. She's listens to our show, and she texts me way more than she listens to the show. I keep telling her to just listen to the show, but we'll still give her some screen time with her roster because I think it's a good one. It's a very high scoring team so far. Okay, so here we go. At quarterback, these are the starters. At quarterback, Patrick Mahomes. At running back, James Cook. At running back 2, Chuba Hubbard. At wide receiver 1, Jamar Chase. And then wide receiver 2 is Drake London. Like, she's stacked at every position.
Yeah, how's this possible?
Tight end, Tucker Kraft.
Great question.
Flex is Bill, Jake, Krosky Merritt. We got to call him Bill. The kicker is Will Lutz. The defense is the Eagles. And on her bench, she has Baker Mayfield. The bench is a little hurt, but she also has Zach Ertz, who's been pretty good so far. We'll see what happens if it's with Marcus Mariota. But boys, what do we think of that starting lineup right there? I mean, that's a league champion right there, if you ask me.
Yeah, I mean, if everybody stays healthy, Jamar again, we talked about Jamar Chase and Burrow going down, and that's going to hurt a little bit. Chase should be fine, and you're not going to sit him by any means, but
Right.
it definitely hurts. This week it looks fantastic because Mahomes has the Giants.
I was gonna say she has to play that game every week, though. She has to figure out quarterback matchup.
Yeah, she does.
Because the first 2 weeks, I hope she played Baker.
Right.
He definitely outscored Patrick the first 2 weeks.
I don't really like Chuba Hubbard this week, but it doesn't.
Well, this week, yeah.
She doesn't really have.
Yeah, but
I mean,
James
she has to
Cook,
play.
she's gonna
Right,
ride
she has James Cook, which is
forever.
fantastic. She
Yeah.
could throw Bill in that second running back slot and then maybe try to figure out something else in the flex.
Yeah.
I don't know what's on the waiver wire, but I mean, I think you almost have to. You almost have to play Hubbard anyway, regardless.
Yeah. Aaron Jones getting hurt hurts her depth at running back for sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think it's a great starting team. Like just overall, yeah. Like this week, there's some.
Tucker Kraft.
Yeah, Tucker Kraft is a solid start every week.
She has like a number one, like a top rated player at each position.
Yeah,
I mean, James Cook is amazing.
Yeah, right. You have James Cook, you have Mahomes, you have Jamar Chase, you have Tucker Kraft, plus you have Drake London, who's like a top 6 or
and
7.
she has Baker Mayfield on her bench.
Right.
Right.
And the Eagles defense is one of the best. I mean, this team's ridiculously stupid. Well done, Courtney. It's obviously 100% because you listen to this show. We expect a testimonial on our website later today. Anyway, let's move on to starts and sits. Last week we redeemed ourselves. We got 1 start wrong, 1 sit wrong. So we went 6 for 8 overall. Now we're 10 for 16 on our picks through 2 weeks. Not the best, but much better, and we're back on track. Let's get started. Let's get right to it. Remember, we have all those injuries. Thankfully, we don't have buys yet, but there are a lot of injuries out there. I kind of tried to dig a little bit because of the injuries and trying to think about people. And looking at this, I could see you guys did the same. Um, so let's get started. Dutton, get us rolling with our start of the week at quarterback.
I'm starting Matthew Stafford against the Eagles because I feel like that game is about to turn into a shootout. So, yeah, big game from Stafford.
I like it. Fake.
I'm starting Dak against the Bears. I talked about him earlier. It really should be a shootout, and they should. He should have a ton of points.
Yeah. Fee talked about him. I talked about him. Sam Darnold, I think, is a good start this week. The Saints have allowed 5 passing touchdowns and 0 interceptions. And even Sam Darnold can't mess that up, right? I think it's the perfect recipe for him. And like you said, JSN is a stud. I mean, when you got a receiver like that, he showed last year, Darnold, that as long as you got Justin Jefferson, you could turn around your career.
He's my wide receiver start this
All
week.
right. Well, who are we locking in as
I
the
like
3?
Dak. Dak's going to put up another 40-something points. That Bears defense is fucked.
I'm good with that. Fee, running back, you already talked about him, but
Jordan Mason, start him against the Bengals. No Aaron Jones.
Dutton, you're a believer, huh? Talk to us.
I just because again, I think it's just a high scoring game, and at some point the Cowboys are going to try to run the ball for a little bit. So Javonte Williams against the Bears.
I mean, that's going to be a high scoring game. He's going to find pay dirt, so it's not a terrible pick. I'm going a little crazy here because Pacheco has not looked good this season, but I'm going to start him this week against the Giants. The Giants do let up a lot of points and a lot of yards. The 23 points a game to the running back position, actually, the Giants have let up so far this year. And the Chiefs need to win. And they're not doing it through the air, so they need to figure out how to establish the run game and keep the Giants off the field because that team likes to play. I think it's Pacheco's coming out party, and he finally has that big week we've been waiting for. I like Jordan Mason a lot here, especially because of the matchup. But is that who we want to lock in? Let's lock in Jordan Mason. Wide receiver, he's on the injury report today, but it's Wednesday, so everybody is. But I'm going Wan'Dale Robinson, baby. I've been talking about him since the preseason. And guess what? Well, first of all, I love Dutton's pick. I won't say who it is. That's exactly who I was going for, but you had taken him before me, so I went with there's no one more reliable. He's the man, the myth, the legend. Everything I've been saying about him has been true.
I just paid top dollar for him in Nitro.
18 targets in 2 games, just where he averaged 8.8 targets a game last year. That's 9 targets a game. There's no fall off. Look, the Giants are going to be behind all season long. This guy is a must start. You're nuts if you don't, because you're guaranteed 11 points. Guaranteed. Guaranteed. Dutton, talk about yours because I just said how much I love him.
Yeah, B talked about him earlier. He's mentioned his name a couple of times. Roma Dunze. He has clearly become the number 1 in Chicago.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot not going well with Caleb, but that is one thing that's going right.
Yeah, for sure. P. Oh, you already
talked. I talked about him. It's JSN against the Saints.
I love all 3 of these guys. I
do too.
Let's go with Wan'Dale.
Hey, look, Wayne and I put him in our league last week.
29 points.
29 points later, we were going crazy.
Yeah, because we put him in for Michael Pittman, who only got like 8.4 points.
Now that I'm second guessing it, I mean, I love the pick. It's probably a really good pick. Maybe we should start a Dunze.
I love a Dunze. That's who I was going with, so I'm good with.
Yeah, maybe we should go there.
All right,
we're switching. But no, Wan'Dale Robinson, 16 points in the bag, if not better. Tight end, Fee, get us started with your tight end.
I'm starting Zach Ertz. I think you.
I did say it.
Yeah, against the Raiders. Yeah, I mean, if Mariota is playing in this game, Ertz is gonna get a bunch of balls. So I think that, and listen, Zach Ertz, for as old as he is, he looks pretty good. He looks very spry.
Somebody else.
The last 2 games, he's looked great. Yeah,
he can catch better than somebody else can these days.
I'm gonna start Zach Ertz.
Mark Andrews?
The other one, 87.
Oh yeah,
Kelsey.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna start Zach Ertz against the Raiders.
Dutton.
Short week, Dalton Kincaid versus the Dolphins. I mean, I saw a joke today that what do you call Bill's Dolphins game on Thursday night. Somebody said an extra bye week. Like, I mean, this game could be. I mean, this could be it, right?
Yeah.
I said at the beginning of the year that Mike McDaniel would be fired by week 5. I mean, we are entering week 3 with they could be 0-3 with a long little like mini bye here where you fire him on Friday.
And Jalen Waddle is questionable. I mean, it's
They're gonna
Anyway,
get
Dalton
they're gonna get
Kincaid.
smoked.
like
Yeah, Dalton.
it may be
The
35-0 by halftime
spread the spread in this game is only 12.5.
only. It should be 22.5. I'm going with Sam Laporta. He's kind of been a slow start, especially with Amon-Ra stealing pretty
Wow.
much every touchdown last week. But this is what we discussed in FanDuel. The spread of this game is going to be monstrous, right? This game has over 50 points predicted to be in it. The Ravens allowed 88 yards to the Browns tight ends, and Dalton Kincaid found pay dirt in week 1. So, the Ravens are not fantastic against the tight end. So if the Lions are smart, they get off Amon-Ra, who everybody in the world knows the ball is going to, and go to Laporta this week. That's my rationale. Gentlemen, what do we think?
That's a Monday night game, so it's not
Yeah.
on the main.
Right.
Well, that's for FanDuel, though. Yeah.
I like the Zach Ertz, especially because I think Marcus is going to be playing. So that's
I already said I like Ertz before. I'm good with going with Ertz. Yeah.
Okay.
So to review our 3 and out starts of the week: quarterback Dak Prescott, running back Jordan Mason, wide receiver Roma Dunze, and tight end Zach Ertz. Let's get going with the sits and keep the show rolling. Dutton.
Well, last week I told you to sit Jaden Daniels, and people laughed at me. And then Jaden Daniels had 60 yards in the first half of the game, and
Yeah.
I looked pretty smart, other than a garbage touchdown at the end of the game.
Yeah.
Good sit. This week I'm sitting Bo Nix versus the Chargers. I don't know what's going on with Bo Nix. There's just something
The
off
Chargers
there.
are good. Chargers
And the Chargers are good.
might be the second, third best team in football right now.
Yep. So I'm sitting Bo Nix.
Pete.
I am sitting Trevor Lawrence against your Texans. It's same type of deal with Bo Nix. He just doesn't look good. He was supposed to be the next best quarterback, and like he's been average. He's still average. He hasn't kind of raised his game at all. He's got Brian Thomas Jr., who's a spectacular wide receiver, and he hasn't been able to use him very much. Travis Etienne is all of a sudden is a monster running back. I don't know. I don't know what's going on in Jacksonville. Sit Trevor Lawrence.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm going to sit Kyler Murray. I know the 49ers are all sorts of banged up, but this is more on Murray than the 49ers. Look, Murray started the season against the Saints and the Panthers, and with that schedule, he's still only the 16th best fantasy quarterback. Like, he's just not getting it done. And the 49ers, I think, are better than both the Saints and the Panthers. So it just seems like Kyler Murray is going to underperform again this week.
Yeah, he's not really running the ball very much.
No, and I think
like
that's
the Kyler Murray pick because he was my other choice.
all right.
So Kyler Murray.
All right, Fee, got us started on sit running back.
Yeah, so I'm sitting Chuba Hubbard against the Falcons. The Falcons defense has turned a corner. They are definitely one of the better defenses in the league right now. Probably at least top 10. And I just think that you should sit Hubbard this week against them.
Dutton.
I'm sitting Devon A-Chain versus the Bills because I just don't think the Dolphins are going to be able to do much. I mean, did you hear Tua's comments about Josh Allen?
No.
Where he basically was like, yeah, he's just really good. Like, he can run and throw the ball really far, and I can't do that. And, like, people were like, Tua, it's okay to lie. I mean, I really think they already think they've lost.
Yeah, they're not very motivated.
Yeah.
I'm saying the Commanders backfield, and I would
They don't
even
have one.
and if Jaden Daniels was starting, I think I would include him in the backfield as well. And the only reason I say that is last week I actually got a few texts about Bill Ja'Cory Krosky Merritt, and in some instances he was the right start, but not many. So with no Daniels, with no Eckler, this is a scary. It was already a scary situation with a healthy Eckler. Now I think it's just even worse. If you have Bill, He's definitely a good stash because maybe he breaks out as a young guy, but right now I stay away from it. Well, who do you want to lock in? I don't want to do. I don't want. I agree with you on Achan, but I don't want to do it because he's our keeper and we need him to score at
I
least
know.
50
I
points.
agree with you. No, I like Hubbard, and I'll tell you why as soon as we do wide receivers. So
Okay, well, I could be on board against the Falcons. The Falcons' defenses look pretty sharp.
right, right.
Wide receiver, I'm sitting Drake London. And here's why. You might think I'm nuts, but the Panthers are looking for a win. They need a win in their home, right? They've played the Jaguars, and Brian Thomas Jr. had one catch for 11 yards, and they played the Cardinals. And Marvin Harrison Jr. had two catches for 27 yards. They are effectively taking out the number one receiver of teams that they played. So I'm sticking with that trend and saying to sit Drake London. Fee.
I'm sitting T. Higgins. We spoke about it earlier against the Vikings. Jake Browning probably peppers Jamar Chase, and that's going to hurt T. Higgins. So
Dutton.
I'm sitting Tet McMillan versus the Falcons because I don't think Bryce Young is going to have time to throw the ball to Tet McMillan because that Falcons defensive line is going to be in his face. So yeah,
Yeah. I think the easy pick is T. Higgins here because of the Vikings
agree.
defense. But I'm
Oh,
all
I think it's T. Higgins, and it's also a bolder pick because you're going to be more likely to start T. Higgins, and now maybe
T. Higgins was a top 10 receiver,
oh,
right?
for sure.
right,
Yeah.
that's what I'm saying.
Yeah. This is a bold pick. Dutton, get us started on tight end.
Yeah, ranked him in the top 10 at the beginning of the year, but I'm sitting David Njoku versus the Pack because good luck, you're playing the Pack.
Yeah, fair.
And also Harold Fannin has all of a
Yep.
sudden taken a ton away
Yeah,
from
who
him.
is Harold Fannin?
I don't know. I picked him up this week, but I'm benching him. Look, Njoku got the same amount of targets as him last week.
He did.
They were very similar, but in week one, yeah, it was all Howard Fannin. Anyway, Fee.
I'm sitting Evan Ingram against the Chargers because he's been non-existent.
Yeah, and now
It's
they think
basically like he's not even on the team. I don't know what's going. Again, you just spoke about Bo Nix. You don't know what's going on in Denver. It's affecting everybody
It is.
pretty much. And Evan Ingram was supposed to be some sort of like Joker wild card player for Sean Payton, and it's not coming to fruition yet.
No. And that means I got to do it, boys. Kyle Pitts. It's a dirty world, but somebody has to say it. It is the Kyle Pitts sit of the week. So we got to say Kyle Pitts. I'm good with sitting Ingram. I mean, he is questionable also. So he's already.
I would sit in Njoku.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, the
All right.
Packers, I'm not questioning sitting anyone against the Packers right now, the way they're playing. All right. So reviewing the 3-and-out sits of the week. You got Kyler Murray at quarterback, Chuba Hubbard at running back, T. Higgins at wide receiver, and David Njoku at tight end. Gentlemen, anything to add before we let these people get back to their lives, non-fantasy speaking?
Really quick on tight ends fee because you talked about Ingram being non-existent. Other than Tucker Kraft, is there a tight end that is existent in fantasy right now? Because I feel like it's a very quiet position this year. Like,
Yeah, I mean, well, Tyler Warren has been
yeah,
good.
He's been really good. Yeah.
and if what's his name didn't get hurt on the Raiders,
Yeah,
Oh,
Bowers.
Bowers, he was
McBride's
also a
been
good
steady. McBride's been
Mc-
steady. He's not lighting
McBride's
the
been
world
okay.
on fire, but he's getting a ton of targets at least.
Yeah,
I
I
mean-
think I'm thinking about when I think about it, it's because you're looking at like Mark Andrews has had like 2 targets over 2 games.
Yeah.
And Kelsey, who had the big drop, and Njoku who hasn't done much. And so, yeah, that's what I'm
And Evan Ingram is invisible.
Right,
TJ
Ingram.
Hawkinson, I think, has 30 yards receiving on the year. Like these
Right.
are all guys that went top 10 tight ends,
Yep.
like all before like the 7th round type of guys. And that's
I mean, Tucker Kraft is the only one that's been fantastic.
yeah.
Really.
Yeah. It is disappointing. And that's the way the tight end position goes. Like every few years, you have like 7 or 8 that are amazing.
It totally ebbs and flows, and we're definitely in one of the bottoms right now.
Yeah, but there's still a lot of talent there. So maybe it's just,
Yeah.
I don't
just
know.
gotta figure it
Maybe
out.
by at the end of the season, it comes back. Very good point to bring up there, Dutton on the tight end. I think that wraps up the show. Fee, anything?
Nothing.
You're just bobbing the head over there. All right. Well, thank you for joining us, and we're going to get a lot of picks right this week, win you a lot of money, and see you next week on 3 and Out.